Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking all about how we lost £10,000 on a property purchase. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Shay. I'm a mom of 3, I work full time and I'm also a property investor. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and let's jump straight into this video. I think one thing I have to say as well is, as much as you can plan and strategize, you can't always plan for every eventuality, and that's just what it is with property, and that's what it is with life generally. Basically, we put a offer into a property. It was a building and it's got 4 flats inside, and everything was fine. You know, the mortgage broker was set up, solicitors were set up, everything was fine, and we're all good to go. Now, the issues started appearing when the seller didn't respond to his solicitors for requests. So basically, our solicitors will send their solicitors a list of inquiries, so basically questions that he has to respond to. Now, we're chasing the seller, saying, look, you need to respond to this. You know, my husband's calling the agent to call him to say, you need to speak to your solicitors and get back to our solicitors. Just one of those things outside of our control. There was not much we can do about it. If the seller didn't want to respond, he didn't want to respond. The issue essentially with this whole transaction was the seller. Now, he was somebody essentially that we learned wasn't true to his word. We even speak to my husband, say, yes, I've told my solicitors. The solicitors are writing to our solicitors saying, we don't have instructions. So essentially, we lost £10,000 and we paid for our solicitors' fees. We've had to pay for valuation fees. And because it was a building with 4 properties, it's a lot of money. Get an accountant's report for that with regards to stamp duty. We also had to pay our lenders' solicitors' fees as well. So because of the type of mortgage that we're getting. Guys, it was just basically a lot of people, a lot of money just flying out. And we basically had to trust God in that process. You know, a lot of people say, what does it look like? You know, or how do you actually trust God in that process? And the way we did it essentially is we prayed to God, we asked him for guidance. And you know, everyone kind of expects God to be like, yes, you know, do this, do that. You know, God speaks to us in different ways. The way I know that God speaks to me, specifically in one way, is that he gives me peace. But unfortunately, literally a week before the mortgage expired, we had to pull out. And, you know, it wasn't something that we, you know, it wasn't a decision that we made, you know, flippantly. It wasn't something that we just said, you know what, we're sick and tired of this seller, you know, we're done, you know, we can't do this anymore, we'll pull it out. It was definitely something we spoke to each other about it, we prayed about it. And trusting God in the season for us looked like taking that quiet time to speak to God and say, God, this is what's on our hearts. You know, this is what is going on with the process. Let us know what you want us to do. And speaking and to other people, you know, seeking wise counsel. And people always think, you know, wise counsel always has to be, you know, Christian leaders. Yes, you know, to some extent it does need to be, especially if you don't feel you have that foundation for yourself. But sometimes it's also speaking to experts within the field. So speaking to our solicitors and say, look, this is what's going on, what's your experience in this kind of situation? Speaking to our mortgage broker, you know, what's your experience in this situation? Don't get me wrong, what we could have done is essentially extend our mortgage offer. We could have just paid a bit more, done the valuation, and that would have kind of reset the process. But when we spoke about it and we prayed about it, we were at peace, you know. And for us, that was a very good indication that God has got us. You know, it wasn't I'm scared, there's anxiety, oh my gosh, we're going to lose £10,000. What are we going to do? How are we going to find the money? Unless you have felt what it is I'm talking about, I can't put it into words. It's like, it doesn't make sense. You know, your flesh wants to panic. It wants to jump from number to number, from place to place. It wants to react. And £10,000, guys, it's a lot of money. But there was a peace, and that's how we knew in that process that God had us. Sometimes it's hard, you know, when things don't make sense. The instinct is to, you know, go to plan B, go to plan C. And all the people that know me know that I will have a plan A, plan B, plan C, -1, C -2. That's me. And sometimes it's very difficult to give control and say, God, you know, you have this. But guys, I am a living testimony that God has got you. It's good to plan, because it does say in the Bible, the plans of the diligent lead to plenty. But at the same time, there's a moment where you've got to trust God, and you literally do have to give it to him, because that in itself, that's faith. That's you stepping out in faith. That's you walking in faith. And guys, when I tell you that whole process, nothing goes to waste, guys. Nothing goes to waste. Like the experience, what we did, how we spoke to people, the knowledge that we got, nothing goes to waste. Because literally, I think about probably 2.5, 3 weeks after we kind of pulled out and everything, my husband found 3 different properties that we've put bids on that we're currently in the process of purchasing. And you're thinking to yourself, Shay, you've just lost that much money. How do you have money to now buy? Guys, like I can't explain it. Like, when it doesn't make sense, that's how you know. Like, I'm the kind of person that breaks numbers down. I'm an Excel person. Guys, the numbers don't make sense, but God is making it make sense. Like, I can't. This is just to encourage all of you out there that if you are going through a season and, a lot of people say, trust God, you've got to leave it to God. And you're like, okay, fine, but what does that actually mean? What does that practically mean? Because I'm a practical person. For me, that means praying. And it's not just praying like, God, do this, because, it's like you're being biased. It's like you want God to do what you think you want to do. No, it's actually praying and say, God, you know what? Take control. What is it that you want me to do? Lead me to the right people to speak to. Speak to people that you seek wise counsel for. Speak to experts, people that know the area, just to give you their words of wisdom, their words of advice. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.